cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your guest host.
Good afternoon and welcome to Talk Today. I am your guest host, Orrett Connor, and my question to you, what were you doing 50 years ago if you were here in the Cayman Islands? Can you think of any milestones, anything that may have occurred 50 years ago? If you can, let us know. If you can't, then stay tuned because we will be talking about a specific event that took place 50 years ago. Please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Talk Today is also brought to you by Mike's Builders. Call 923-0706. Mike Builders. They make it happen. Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990. 949-8037 or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I am your guest host, Orrett Connor. And in the studio with me this afternoon, we have Professor Livingston Smith, who's the acting president and CEO of the University College of the Cayman Islands. That should give you a hint in terms of 50 years ago. So we will be talking with Professor Smith about the UCCI's 2025 commencement ceremony, which will be a very special one. And of course, the theme for that will be the 50th anniversary celebrations. The theme will be honoring the past, inspiring the future. We will also be talking about ongoing initiatives, upcoming signature events, as well as and some of those things would include STEM camps and all other good things as well. And then we will also be talking about the Caribbean Sociological Association Conference in 2025. And I believe that Professor Livingston Smith is the current president of that association as well. Professor Smith, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon. I'm delighted to be here and to talk about UCCI. When you mention 50 years, clearly, UCCI is 50 this year, and one can view the development of this university in different phases, different stages. All right. In 1975, you had the Community College of the Cayman Islands, with a part-time institution, right? But at that time, also, you had other independent schools like the trade school, the hotel school, the marine school. These were more specialized institutions in the Cayman Islands. So I call it the first phase, all right? And then in the second phase, these schools were centralized into a more vibrant community college, right? So, for example, you had the hotel training school, the marine and trade training school, and the secretarial and business school of the sixth form, actually, were merged to form a more vibrant community college of the Cayman Islands, right? And then the other phase was in 1987 when it became more autonomous, right? And that came from a government legislation. And then in 2004, it became the University College of the Cayman Islands, All right, so it's pretty much in those phases. All right, and today UCCI stands as a hub of excellence, and we are determined to get the word out about the evolution of this university and the role it is playing, and will play even more a central role as we go on in the society.
Okay, great. And some of those names with those other institutions that you spoke about, some that come to mind, the late Mr. Rudolph Seltzer, the late Timothy Emmanuel MacPhail, the late Mr. Leroy Frederick, who was one of the first chief engineers in the Cayman Islands in that era, a certified chief engineer as well. And they were all involved in training when these things they were established in the Cayman Islands.
So when we talk about TVET education, it has a very long history.
Yes, it certainly does. It certainly does. Yes.
Right. So just to talk further, OC, about how this university has evolved. Take, for example, we believe in holistic education, that you come to university to learn the theory and the books, but you should complement that with involvement in clubs and societies, in the performing arts, in areas of education that is not only in the classroom. That's why, for example, we believe in internships. You have to go out there and put what you've learned into real life situations. All right. So I could zero in on our performing arts culture at UCCI. It started in 2010 by Emeritus President Orrett Connor, and this has blossomed into what we now have. We have a UCCI dance company, we have the choir, we have pandemics, and they are just marvelous what they perform at the Aqua Theatre and through the Caribbean, right? So that's a very vibrant part of what we do, just to complement the scholarship that we also have at UCCI. So we also have at UCCI an integrating of the artistic, the academic, the professional, and some persons sometimes don't realize the extent to which we are accredited. Right? Our students go to universities in the Caribbean, in Canada, in the US, and the UK. They go to the very best schools after they leave us. Some of them stay here and do their bachelor's and go abroad to do their master's degrees. Many of them leave after 2 years. They end up at University of Manchester, University of London. I mean, it's one of the best schools in England. Last week, for example, I was talking with the leaders of Loyola University that we have a commitment with, and they are willing to take all those students. While they come there, everything accepted. They end up in the third year.
Okay. So all of their credits are transferable.
Precisely, and that's not just one school. So we are intent in this year to make the case known that we have evolved considerably, and that we are making our mark locally and abroad.
Yeah, I was thinking this morning when I was in university, it was $30 per credit. Oh, that's how much you paid, $30 per credit. And when I graduated with more credits than I needed. Yeah. So as a result, result of that, you ended up having to pay the extra, as well, because I in New York at that time. Many of the college programs were federally funded. The one that I joined, that I was lucky to be funded by, was something called, with the acronym SEEK, Search for Education, Elevation, and Knowledge. And that was funded by the federal government. Okay. And you also received, every fortnight, you received a stipend that covered transportation to school and, other incidentals, books, and everything else was funded.
That's interesting because, of course, many of our students are sponsored by government, but we also have a scholarship section that if students come and they really don't have the funding, we have some help to give to them, particularly Cayman Island students. All right. Yesterday I was in the BRAC because we do have a BRAC campus. We do have dual entry students who study in the BRAC, but they're UCCI students. We have persons who study there online with us. And the students do face-to-face because we have persons there who are qualified to teach those subjects, but they follow UCCI syllabi and all of that. All right. In fact, for this year's commencement, we have 5 students on the BRAC who are graduating with their associate degrees, and they're going off to university, law school here or abroad to finish up their bachelor's degrees.
Excellent.
Right?
And online courses as well, or they're all in person?
We have online opportunities for students. For example, you're at work in the evening. You cannot go to class face to face. You can do that also. So we have it both face to face and online. There.
Okay.
I want to talk some more about...
I'm going to interrupt you there for a second. I've gone a little bit over my commercial break, so rather than having to interrupt you in the middle of it, we're going to take a commercial break. Folks, just to remind you, if you're just joining us, in the studio with me is Professor Livingston Smith, who's the acting president and CEO of the University College of the Cayman Islands. We're talking about several initiatives taking place, in particular the UCCI 2025 commencement ceremony. Very special because it is 50 years after the creation of UCCI, or at that time what was the community college and then became the UCCI. Please stay tuned. Talk today. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Adelaide, what it is you have there in your hand looking at so intently on this porch?
These your shipping out papers, Paul. I saved them all these years. Don't know why.
Yes, they are important things that tell the story of us seamen. All the places we went and all the sacrifice we made.
And we sacrificed too. No man to help us manage the home, the grounds, the children. That was hard work. But what a joy it was when Annie came home.
Boy, Adelaide, we were brave people, you know, stepping off of this beautiful rock onto the edge of the whole wide world. And you all here suddenly becoming financial managers and overseeing construction. some strong women.
We set this country on the map for sure. Every bit of our modern foundation came from seamen's allotments and women's hands. I'm so excited that we are going to be celebrated on June 25th at the Voices of the Sea, launching the Cayman Seafarers Registry. Come on, let's go pick out what we gonna wear. This can be a real figure, a good old time.
Celebrate Cayman and the Cabinet Office cordially invites one and all to come out to Voices of the Sea, launching the Cayman Seafarers Registry to celebrate our seamen and our proud history of seafaring. Wednesday, June 25th, 5:30 p.m. at the Georgetown Library Historic Room.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. In the studio with me, Professor Livingston Smith, who is also the acting president and CEO of the University College of the Cayman Islands. Several signature events coming up this year. So Professor Smith is here to tell us all about it. I'm going to throw the mic right back over to you.
Thank you. I'm excited to do so. I was talking about the extent to which UCCI is accredited. And there are two forms of accreditation. You have institutional accreditation and programmatic accreditation.
Okay.
And we have both of those. We are accredited institutionally by the Accreditation Service for International Schools, Colleges, and Universities. That's ASIC. But we have, of course, or different programs accredited in terms of their professional bodies. For example, our business and finance programs are accredited by the International Accreditation Council for Business Education. That is like the top tier you could find. And not just that, some of the persons who run the UCCI are also part of the IACB in terms of leadership of those. So we are well established there. Our nursing program, of course, is accredited by the Nursing Council of Jamaica, our School of Teacher Education, accredited by the postgraduate section of UWI, the Joint Board of Teacher Education. We have accreditation in terms of our certificates. What we do is to ensure that our certificates have global recognition in terms of what we give our students. For example, CompTIA is a widely recognized industry standard. We have City and Guilds recognition awards. We have NCCCER, that's a National Center for Construction, Education and Research, and things like that. So what we ensure is that when they leave UCCI, they have our certification, but they also have other global certifications, and that's critical for what we do. I'm emphasizing that because some persons might wonder about that. All right, that's critical. But in addition to these, we have many MOUs with universities that we deal with very often. For example, when we have our commencement July 1, we have many schools that are coming to be part of our commencement.
Okay.
All right. But I want to just talk about some of the activities that are part of our 50th anniversary. We are launching and have launched some interesting new programs. Just yesterday, we launched the Associate of Arts in Culinary Arts.
Okay.
That was a huge function, well attended by government, by school students, and by other committed persons. This degree is going to prepare students, train students to become an important part of the culinary industry in the Cayman Islands and globally. We launched recently the associate degree in cultural studies. So some person might say, why would you want to have a degree in cultural studies? If you know about the Cayman Islands and the Caymanian culture and the discussions that go on about that, we had to get into that business.
Precisely.
We had to have a space to train persons to understand local culture and to be part of that, but also to operate within the cultural, industry in Cayman. And the course is not just about Cayman culture, obviously. It's Caribbean and global, but it really trains people to be part of that context. We're going to be launching soon an Associate of Arts in Digital Media Production. As the landscape evolves in Cayman, we need persons who can be part of that also. We have had quite a few conferences. We had just one the other day with the Caribbean Women Writers and Scholars Conference that was held on campus. We had Culturama as part of the activities. You just mentioned the conference in September, the Caribbean Sociological Association Conference. I'm going to talk about that more deeply shortly. The PTET division, that is the TVET subjects, we have just launched the National Technical Honor Society, where our best students in TVET are part of this honor society. They've had to obtain a particular GPA to qualify to be part of this honor society, but it's very important. We have just had our Nursing Health Expo just yesterday on campus in the hall. You mentioned the STEM summer workshop. This year is even bigger, where we want to have 50 persons involved in this workshop. All right, but the truth is that as we opened it filled up.
Wow!
so there's no space left for it really. It filled up, except if it drops out, but it's all taken up already. All right. We have other events that we have planned. OC, we have an interdenominational church service later this year, a marathon. So just get ready for that in January next year. We have a distinguished lecture coming up in November, which will focus on the nature of higher education, particularly in the Cayman Islands. We have a gala next year. We have a yearbook, an anniversary yearbook. We're going to.
Did you mention the marathon as well?
Yes, marathon definitely. We're going to have a selection of our 50 most distinguished alumni. That's going to be challenging, I assure you. And we are launching also our alumni association, and we have this thing called 50 Acts of Kindness, where persons who work at UCCI will be going out in the community and doing some for example, paint a house for somebody or things like that. For this week, as part of that effort, the faculty members have given up more time to just tutor students for exams. They normally would have their office hours, but this time they're going beyond that. All right. I want to talk very quickly about our sponsorship deck.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Because we want to encourage businesses to be part of our activities, and we have sent it out to many businesses. If you want to be part of these activities, let us know, so you can be with it, be with us in all these activities.
And that includes the time capsule.
Yes, the time capsule.
You haven't announced the date of that yet. But
no, but that's in process for sure.
Okay.
Right.
And what will that involve? The time capsule.
It will involve finding a way to on campus where persons can come and put their name down as having been a part of the event. We're going to have different artists coming to play some of the art forms, different parts of the campus. We're going to be picking out certain things and putting it somewhere in campus to be open later on, many years from now, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, yeah. Professor Smith, we're going to take a commercial break. I believe there may be a call on our WhatsApp number as well. Folks, please stay tuned. Talk today. We'll be back shortly.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
J.A. Roy Bodden, in association with Ian Randall Publishers, cordially invites you to the launch of his second volume on the study of Caymanian society, Deconstructing Development, Immigration, Society and Economy in Early 21st Century Cayman. The book launch will be held at the Sir Vassal Johnson Hall, University College of the Cayman Islands, on Saturday, the 5th of July at 6 p.m. Refreshments, book sales and signing to follow immediately after the launching ceremony. The full complement of J.A. Roy Bodden's published works will also be on sale. The first 50 attendees will receive a complimentary copy of one of the author's previously published works.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I am your guest host, Orrett Connor, and in the studio with me we have Professor Livingston Smith, who's the acting president and CEO of the University College of the Cayman Islands. We're talking about some signature events that will take place, upcoming events. One that you may have heard earlier had to do with the STEM camp, 50 for the 50th STEM camp. If you have an interest in that, I'm sorry, but Professor Smith has already told us it has been fully subscribed. So unless someone drops out, then sorry, but it's already fully subscribed. We're going to focus mainly on the graduation as well as the Caribbean Sociological Association conference that will take place later on this year as well. Professor Smith, over to you.
Right. So this commencement will be July 1. It will take place July 1, and it's a very significant event. We have 317 students who are graduating, right, who qualify for graduation, and they are graduating in diverse fields, natural sciences, in TVET, in nursing, in social work, teaching, computer science, the social sciences, and so on. So it's a pretty wide number of areas they're qualified in, and we're going to be having many schools leaders coming to be part of that. Loyola, New England Tech, Gulf of University of Florida, and other schools like that coming to be part of the occasion. Right, I'm very excited to say that we'll be bestowing for honor doctorates this time around. So a person may ask, what is that all about? What's an honor doctorate? It is not an academic degree in the sense that you have gone in and worked for it in terms of examination and so on. It's really an acknowledgement of something significant that a person has done. And universities do it to say this person has really contributed significantly, and we're honoring that person in doing so.
And it is exactly what it says. It's really an honor.
Precisely.
It's really an honor. Yeah.
So it's a symbolic honor acknowledging certain achievement. We call it signal achievement. All right? And so we have given these before, but this year it's especially significant given the 50th anniversary. And I could just mention the persons who will be...
Sure.
Get to that.
Certainly.
We have President Emeritus Roy Bodden will be getting an honorary doctorate for his contribution to Cayman and scholarship. Now, Mr. Bodden has written a lot about Cayman, and his books are really very important works about different facets of the Cayman Islands. So it won't be for anything else, but just really we're zeroing in on his scholarship. All right?
And these are scholarly works.
Are scholarly works.
Yes.
Scholarly works. All right. We're honoring also Miss Lucille Seymour for her contribution to sports and community leadership and other facets of the society.
Education as well would be included in that as a former teacher. Yeah.
Definitely. We're honoring also Miss Teresa Pitcairn for her contribution to advocacy, her contribution to development of the legal environment in the Cayman Islands. Very, very significant.
Yes.
I remember the Chief Justice was a part of persons, wanting that to happen.
Okay.
That just speaks to the level of authority to bring to that subject. All right. And you must have known about Miss Jackie Balls and the singular contribution she has made to the dance and culture in the Cayman Islands. She has shaped generations of Caymanian performers and artists, and we thought we needed to recognize her. All right, so it's going to be highly significant. This graduation, July 1.
Excellent. As you did mention the fact that the commencement honors, the graduates will be across all of the divisions, TVET, bachelor's, master's degrees as well.
We have associate degrees, certificates, we have master's degrees, bachelor's degrees. And some persons want to know if UCCI does enough in terms of TVET. We are graduating 91 persons who have attained certificates in some TVET area, 91. For example, persons are graduating in construction technology, different levels, electrotechnology, different levels, hospitality and tourism, air conditioning and refrigeration, various levels, auto repair and maintenance, construction technology, electrical installation, different levels, plumbing applications, and so on. So we have quite a full gamut here of persons who are leaving in TVET.
And this is not only in terms of the academic part of it, but also
they're leaving
practical.
with the industry certification, and that is what guarantees the certainty of respect and employment. All right. You mentioned about associate degrees. We have those in a wide number of areas, in the business, in accounting, business administration, computer science, hospitality management. We have, in fact, most of the persons who are graduating are doing so from the associate program. All right. We have 174 persons graduating with associate degrees, and we have 46 persons graduating bachelor's degrees. All right. And we have about 10 persons graduating with a master's degrees of some sort there. And where do they go after? Some of them stay and do their bachelor's degrees. Many of those who complete their associate degrees go on to do their bachelor's degrees elsewhere. And I insist that they get into the best schools with ease.
Now, if someone wanted to pursue their PhD as well, that can be done at University College?
No, we're not offering that right now.
Okay.
But we have had students who have come with us and have done their master's degrees and have gone elsewhere to do their PhDs. And so if you want to do a PhD, you start with us with a associate degree, even bachelor's, and go elsewhere to do your PhD degree. And I'm glad to ask that, because we want to see more persons doing that, because learning is a continuous thing. You never really stop with it.
Yeah. Well, from a historical perspective in the Cayman Islands, way back in the day, in the 60s and the 70s, if you just had a college degree, be it a bachelor's or an associate's degree, that was a huge achievement.
Definitely.
Because more than likely, you would have been the first person in your family to have a college degree. Then we went on where a master's degree, was a big thing.
Yes.
And we see so many people in the Cayman Islands now achieving, their master's degree as well. So we've seen, that progression.
And as you mentioned that, I should speak to the level of expertise we have on campus in terms of the faculty members who teach there. At a minimum, to teach at UCCI, you have to have a master's degree. And we prefer if they come from, really established universities, right? And but most persons who are full-time persons have PhDs at UCCI.
Yes.
It has a greater concentration, without doubt, of PhDs, and many of them are involved right now in trying to accomplish that also. So we have a good quality of program. We have quite a number of persons who are adjuncts, part-time teachers, but they too have to have the minimum qualification to teach there. Right?
Okay. One more question in relation to that as well.
Yeah.
Do you have tenured professorships at
Good
UCCI?
question. What we have are different ranks. All right. So you could start out as a lecturer and move up to senior lecturer. Then you could move up to assistant professor, then associate professor, then professor. All right. So we don't call it tenure given the context in which we operate, but we have different ranks. So that there are all kinds of incentives to move up the rank in terms of your qualification, in terms of feedback from students about your effectiveness. What have you been publishing? What have you been contributing to society? Those are what we look to decide if you move up the academic rank. We do have that for sure. All right.
Professor Smith, I know we were scheduled to stop at 1 o'clock, but we have so much more to talk about, and I don't believe that there's any guests following behind you. So I'm going to ask you to stay at least for at least another 15 minutes.
Talk about the CASA conference
or so as well. So why don't we go to our headline news at 1 o'clock, and when we return, we will continue our conversation with Professor Livingston Smith, who is also the acting CEO and president of the University College of the Cayman Islands. Folks, please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, No Cayman, Cayman Brac. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Jevi Ebanks. It's that time of year again for Bat Count Cayman. Are you ready? If you'd like to join, email the Department of Environment at tru.doe@gov.ky with the subject line Bat Count Cayman. Whether this is your first time or you need a refresher, no need to worry. They'll send you an email explaining how to conduct your counts. They can also arrange to have an intern provide you with free on-site training. Drop them an email again at tru.doe@gov.ky to request one. The bat count guide will also be posted on their website at doe.ky/batcount. In regional news, Grenada Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell has urged Grenadians to support government MPs labeling organized critics of policy as enemies of progress. Speaking on his social media program, he defended the government's record and addressed recent bribery allegations involving Minister Andy Williams, which party officials say are baseless. In Guyana, the main opposition's People's National Congress Reform has rejected Amanza Walton Desire's claim that she resigned due to a lack of candidacy assurance for the upcoming elections. The party says she was offered a role and is correcting what is called a misrepresentation of events. That's your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Health Services Authority would like to thank you, the Cayman community, for voting us the Best of Cayman Islands 2024 in 13 medical categories. As the largest and longest healthcare provider in the Cayman Islands, we have been caring for you for many generations, helping the people of our islands live longer, healthier, and happier lives. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky or call 949-8600.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Holroy Eric Lorenzo Walton, born on August 13, 1936 in Bogasan, Cayman, was not only an avid artist and seaman, affectionately named Roy. He also made significant impacts in the construction industry, founding H&A Construction in 1972 and working on landmark projects. He was also a passionate educator, hosting free art classes for children and fostering creativity through an annual art competition at Spot Bay Primary School. Roy and his wife Anne were dedicated to preserving the heritage of the Sister Islands, designing the lighthouse statue at the Cayman Brac and Little Cayman's Seamen's Center. Roy's efforts in collecting and displaying seafaring history ensured that the stories of Caymanian seafarers would be passed down to future generations. His life's work continues to resonate with the community and beyond.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. We have extended our discussion with Dr. Livingston Smith, Professor Livingston Smith, who is the acting president and CEO of the University College of the Cayman Islands. I believe one listener was inquiring as to whether or not we were taking calls, and yes, the phone lines are open if you want to talk or have questions about what we're actually discussing, of course, we're talking about the 50th anniversary of the University College of the Cayman Islands, talking about their graduation, signature upcoming events as well. And if you want to know UCCI's 50th anniversary celebration, the theme of that, it is honoring the past, inspiring the future. Professor Smith, over to you.
Thank you so much. So we are going to talk about now the what I call the CASA conference, the Caribbean Sociological Association Conference, which will take place at UCCI September this year, in fact, September 24 to 26. And I wanted to interest the public in participating in this conference. Now, what is the Caribbean Sociological Association? It's a regional organization that seeks to promote sociology as a way to develop the Caribbean. We seek to promote the way to think sociologically. We're trying to advance Caribbean perspectives. We want to get together with sociologists across the Caribbean. We want to disseminate this kind of knowledge. We want to encourage critical thinking. We want to encourage young scholars to be part of this engagement. Someone might ask, what is sociology in the first place? All right? And I want to speak to that because many persons would have gone to school that would have done sociology, or at least they would have done social studies in high school. All right? So what I would say is that sociology is like advanced social studies. And OC is so crucial, I believe, that persons study these things just to know how society operates. To know how they are impacted by their social environment.
Yes.
And that is what sociology is all about. It's sort of like a fancy term, but essentially, when it was defined, it was called the science of society by one Comte, who invented this new way of thinking. But essentially, sociology asks the question, what are the impacts that I come upon every day in the social environment? And to make that be a bit more meaningful, consider a study that was done some years ago by Yolande Ford. It's a very popular study, you know what? The 2006 study entitled Predisposing Factors Toward Criminality in the Cayman Islands. Now, she's a sociologist, because criminology is a branch of sociology. All right? Now, the sociologist would say, okay, why do we have some person ending up in Northward? Let's find out. From the perspective of sociology, we're not trying to find out, what's going on, in the brain, that kind of thing. We're asking the question, what in the social environment pushed the person towards Northward? And, for example, she found such factors as poor parenting, parental separation and divorce, domestic violence, child abuse. She found low educational achievement, shallow religious engagement, and things like that. So essentially, she's trying to see what in the social environment impacted those persons and kind of pushed them towards, made them more predisposed towards getting to Northward. So sociology is really looking at the social forces that affect people's behavior. That's a very easy way of understanding what we're talking about, all right? And the Caribbean has had a significant contribution to sociology. We have had many real heavy hitters in terms of sociology.
Any intention of possibly inviting her back to the Cayman Islands and getting a viewpoint in terms of, because, we keep talking about that particular study.
Yes.
But it was also one of those that was sort of like put in file 13. And it only gains its exposure when people talk about it, when, social commentators and others talk about, here's what Yolande Ford said, what have we done here? What have we done there? So I tried Googling her the other day to see exactly where she's at, but it would be interesting to get her perspective on the Cayman Islands now.
A brilliant idea.
You can take credit.
Yeah, which I'm going to work on. That's brilliant. So this conference, which is going to be in September, I really want persons to be part of it. Let me just go through, OC, with you the breadth of areas that come under sociology and why persons who are listening can be part of it, can write a paper. Right now we're saying, send me your abstract. Abstract really is kind of for summarizing the essence of what you want to say.
Right.
And then you have more time to actually write your paper. All right? So just to go through the fact that sociology, you'll be surprised to know how it affects each person. All right? We're talking about things like gender, family, community development. All right? A host of factors to do with that. Family structures in the Cayman Islands, for example. How resilient the community is, what makes for community resilient. You can write about that. Inequalities in the Cayman Islands or in the Caribbean or globally, whatever it is, because the theme really is focused on, the theme is mobilizing Caribbean sociologists, bridging theory, method, and fields of sociology for sustainable Caribbean development. So we're looking at all the different branches of sociology and inviting persons to be part of that conversation. All right? So gender, family, and community development is just one area. For persons who are interested in methodology, applying social science methodologies to the Caribbean, how can we do that to make it more relevant to us? How can we refine the way we actually do research to make it more attuned to Caribbean realities or to Caymanian realities? What about theory? Because in the academy, we put a lot of emphasis on building theories because theory is important to give context to thought and action.
Precisely.
All right. Sometimes we're not aware of the fact how theories affect our lives. All right. You take, for example, economic theories. I mean, they affect our lives. Political theories affect our lives. Even the idea of democracy was a theory that we're not trying to put in practice. Right. Other areas you could write on education and social change. How is education shaping Caribbean futures? Things like technology in education, innovation in education, sociological perspectives on culture, environment, and sustainability. There's a whole lot of things just in that alone. Environmental justice, the politics of resource management, environmental advocacy, things like that.
Is there any limitation in terms of the length or minimum length of
the abstract is normally about 250 words or so.
Okay.
But the paper itself, we don't have a length to that.
Okay.
And as you mentioned that, when abstracts come in, a committee looks at them and decides, if it's good enough, and then you get enough time to write a paper, and at a conference you can deliver that paper, get feedback, and even have it published after some time. All right, but just to mention some other areas also,
sure,
because the time is going. Health, well-being, and social policy. You can examine disparities in health. You can look at the social determinants of health and a whole lot of things in that. Economic, historical, and political sociology, labor rights, economic inclusion, social equity, all of those things, political activism would be a part of that. What about migration, identity, and the diaspora? That's something that a person might want to write on.
Yes.
Cayman depends heavily on persons coming here. How do migration patterns, shape local reality, for example? What about the sociology of sports in the Caribbean? That's an area you could look at. We just had an online lecture on that with a sports sociologist talking about that. What about digital sociology in the Caribbean? A lot of stuff just there. If you want to see the fullness of this, of the call for abstracts, you can go to the Caribbean Sociological Association website. It's all there. Or you can just email me and I'll send it to you, lsmith@ucci.edu.ky.
Can we talk a little bit, mention the dateline for submissions as well?
Yes.
Is there a dateline?
It's the end of June, but we want to extend it a lot. We're going to extend it to some point in July because we want persons here to be part of that. And we're going to have a reduced fee in terms of registration for Caymanians to be part of that. All right? But also, while I'm on a roll here, take, for example, the sociology of religion. That is something that person may want to write on. All right? Things like how does religion cause change, the role of religion in different aspects of our lives. What about cults? C-U-L-T-S. We don't have enough person writing about cults. What is a cult? How do they behave? Do we have any around? That kind of thing. All right. We have demography and population studies that cover things like population growth and those areas. And of course, we have crime and deviance in the Caribbean that can be written on. So it's a pretty wide field that come under sociology. So OCM just inviting persons to be part of that. You can submit your abstracts up to 300 words. That's okay. An abstract is really a summary of your paper, and then we're going to give you the go-ahead to be part of this event. So don't forget this CASA conference, September 24th, 26th. It will be right at UCCI. Every year it goes somewhere else. Last year it was at Mona. Where Mona in Jamaica.
Yes.
Which was really good. But I like the idea of bringing back the author of that important work to be part of this occasion. Thank you for that idea.
Okay, we do have a caller. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Orrett Connor.
Good afternoon, caller. Good afternoon.
And good afternoon to Mr. Livingston, right?
Yes, Professor Livingston Smith, yes.
Okay. Well, what country are you from, Mr. Smith?
Why is that important? Why is that so important, caller?
No, I have a question for him.
Yeah, but he can ask the question without having to know the country that he's from. I don't think it is relevant.
Okay. Well, the country that you're from, Mr. Smith, which I don't see anything wrong with asking that question. But anyway, the country that you're from, do they have trade schools in that country?
Yes, definitely. Definitely, yes.
Okay. And what types of trade schools do they have?
A variety of schools. For example, in auto mechanic and electrical and things like that. We do have that, yes, for sure.
Okay, and is the graduation percentage doing well with the trade schools?
I think yes. I could speak though about what we have at UCCI. I just mentioned, for example, the OC that for this commencement, July 1, we're having 91 students graduating with their certificates in some aspect of TVET. So we take that very, very seriously at UCCI. I want to go through with you some of the areas that we do at UCCI. We have 91 students graduating with their certificates, for example, in construction technology, in electrotechnology, hospitality and tourism, air conditioning and refrigeration. We have different levels. We have auto repair, we have construction technology, electrical installation, plumbing applications, and so on. So we do take that seriously because persons who come to UCCI come with different interests and and inclinations. So we try to ensure that everybody comes and is trained in some field. Some are more academic, some are more TVET oriented, and they're all equally important as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Caller, I believe you asked a question to because you wanted to get a point across. What was the point that you want to get across?
Well, concerning when he was speaking about Northward Prison too, and the reasons why people end up in Northward Prison. Did you mention that a lady made that report?
Right. There was this study that was done. In fact, if I remember correctly, OC, the government had brought down this, criminal.
Yes.
I said in the context of the fact that we're going to be having this conference called a sociology conference, and if you do criminology, it's an aspect of sociology. So they brought her down in 2006, and her task was to find out what are the reasons that influence persons to turn to other forms of activities.
Yes, that was June of 2006 that she published her report. Yes,
precisely, and it's called. You can always look it up. It's online. It's called Predisposing Factors Towards Criminality in the Cayman Islands.
Yep, researched and written by Yolande Ford.
Yeah. And what she did in terms of how she got information, she went and she interviewed them. She also studied the church and church activities, the extent to which they're engaging. She went and studied the school system to see what's happening there. She looked at the extent to which there were clubs and societies that were available. So she came to the project as any sociologist would, which would be what in the environment affects people's behavior, all right? And the interviews she did with those persons were very, very detailed, and she learned a lot from them. And that's why she could have written this book to say, here are the factors that we have to pay attention to. And if we're going to make any interventions, here's what we must do, right? So I want to encourage the caller to read it. It's called Predisposing Factors Towards Criminality in the Cayman Islands in 2006, Yolande Ford.
Okay, caller, you still there?
Okay. Yes, I hear what you said concerning the latest report.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear anything in that report concerning that the government is at fault for anything when it comes to people going to Northward Prison, for example, providing things that are able to help our young people get work, instead of foreign nationals coming here and taking away the work from our young people. For example, in hotels is one example. And then when it comes to trades, the Auditor General made a report that all the concessions that have been given away in the Cayman Islands have nothing to show for it. And part of that concession deal is 60% of the workforce building the buildings are supposed to be Caymanians. After the hotels are built, 60% are supposed to be Caymanians.
Caller, the phone lines are going to be open after our guest leaves. You're drifting way off course at this point in time. We're talking about the activities taking place at the University College of the Cayman Islands. Professor Smith mentioned the Yolande Ford report only to talk about some of the things that will be discussed or some of the papers that can be presented at that conference that will be taking place in September. You are more than welcome to call back afterwards if you want to discuss the conditions at the prison and other things. The phone lines will be open, and I welcome you to call back, and we can discuss those as well. But I don't want to distract from what Professor Smith is here to talk about, and we only have about 7 minutes left with him. Okay? Thank you, caller.
Yeah, I want to say, OC, that that's what this discussion does, because sociology delves into so many different aspects of social life. I did mention, for example, migration patterns. I mentioned about the economy, how it affects people's lives, and all those things can be written about. All right, so that's fine with me. So OC, again, I want to encourage persons to be part of this event. Don't forget, it's in September 24 to 26, and you can just go right now to the CASA website, and you can see the entire call for papers there, the call for abstracts, and be part of that. OC, let me just, as time is going so fast, reflect quickly on the fact that UCCI is celebrating 50 years. And I've just outlined to you the fact that we want to have all these different activities to celebrate this accomplishment. All right. I also spoke about the commencement July 1 and the significance of that event, the fact that we are graduating 317 persons in different areas, the fact that we are going to be joined by many schools which are close to us, the fact that we're going to be bestowing honorary doctorates, the fact that we have the keynote speaker actually will be our own Honorary Franz Manderson. Will be the keynote speaker, yes. And that's too very symbolic because you know, a local person here who knows the society will be a part of that to kind of punch that in for us.
Definitely.
So that's going to be very significant.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. And if persons want more information about these events, what's the UCCI's website?
Just type in UCCI website. In fact, we have a new website we've just launched. It's a very spunky website. It had a lot of information, very nice to put together. So persons can go onto the website and see what we're doing. I want to encourage business places, please be part of this, be part of the sponsorship deck. There are different levels of sponsorship that you can be part of. And that's very important for us too.
And your email is
lsmith,
yes,
at ucci.edu.ky.
Okay, and they can get more information there about the CASA details as
well.
Precisely,
definitely.
Okay, any other final points that you want to make in terms of after the summer, looking forward to the next semester as well and all of those things?
I want to encourage persons to, if you have not applied to start study, now is the time to do so. We have just finished up summer 1, and we're going to be going to summer 2. And then we are back again in late August to start the new semester, spring semester. So I want to encourage persons to apply if you want to do the sciences, business, social sciences, TVET, whatever you want to do, it can be done right here. Go on and apply. Come on campus, see us. We can get you going. But please be a part of the university setting and see your dreams fulfilled.
Okay, Dr. Smith, thank you. Thank you very much. Again, we're going to wish the UCCI a happy 50th.
Thank you very much.
And we see big, huge celebration going to take place as well. So many things happening, and we look forward to having you or some of your professors or others in the studio here at Radio Cayman to tell us more about some of these events as they take place as well. Persons should note that there is a STEM 50th STEM camp that is taking place from the 18th to the 22nd of August. That is already fully subscribed, so that is no longer there. We're looking at church service, September the 14th as well.
Yes,
there will be a church service.
The lecture in November, and there's
alumni recognition ceremony and honors convocation on the 23rd of October.
Right.
And then, of course, the distinguished President's Distinguished Lecture in November. That is the signature event, I would imagine, because that's
a big one.
Yes.
But next year I have the marathon, I have a gala next year also. And so all those events, we're going to have a yearbook that celebrates our 50, let's say, most outstanding graduates. So all of those together will be something to remember.
Excellent. Professor Smith, thank you. Thank you very much again. All the best to you and your colleagues at University College of the Cayman Islands. 50 years ago, started out as the Community College of the Cayman Islands, now the University College of the Cayman Islands as well. Folks, please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
Subway and Oreo has changed the dessert game. Introducing the Oreo footlong cookie, a full 12 inches of chocolatey, creamy goodness. It's big, it's bold, and it's here for a limited time. Perfect for sharing or not. We won't judge. Want it fast? Order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app for quick pickup and earn loyalty points, or get it delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Don't wait. Treat yourself today. The Oreo footlong cookie is calling your name. Subway. Eat fresh. Snack sweet.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
We were on the edge of a breakthrough. I knew the substance was extraterrestrial, but I didn't realize.
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with managing my insurance?
Well, long story long, the entire lab exploded, and the radioactive sludge went everywhere. I ended up in the hospital for a few weeks, but I was able to manage everything with the CG Online portal.
The online portal. Safe, convenient, simple. CG Britgay. Good like that.
Did you know? The Cayman Islands now has a Seafarers Registry, a searchable national database that contains various forms of information about native-born seafarers and their contributions to our rich maritime history. This groundbreaking initiative is the only public resource dedicated exclusively to documenting and archiving the remarkable journeys and achievements of Caymanian seamen. The official launch for this database is Wednesday, June 25th in Grand Cayman and Wednesday, July 10th in Cayman Brac.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. The phone lines are open and I do believe we already have a caller. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome.
Mr. Connor.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you?
Not too bad, and you?
I am fine, thank you.
Good, good. I forgot to tell you the last time I spoke to you, remember you were talking about turtle meat? And my girlfriend saw me like a day after and told me that she could bring me turtle meat dinner this Sunday.
Uh-huh.
She brought me turtle meat dinner. And I'm like...
Was it cooked Cayman style? Cooked Cayman style?
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. It had a lot of different parts to it, but I'm not that person. I like just certain parts of it, you know. But it was pretty good.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. And it wasn't in no part. It wasn't in no water neither. Well, that's right.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mr. Connor, I called you in December in regards to the turtle farm about getting turtle for homes and wherever else that may need turtle when they get a desire for turtle.
Mm-hmm.
And, Christmas, a lot of people didn't get any turtle meat because then some was already pre-ordered and people was going on from 3 o'clock in the morning, and then they told my girlfriend to come back at 8 o'clock or something, that she had to go around 9 o'clock, and she went back, and they still gave her warm time and told her they only had like a couple pounds of manablin that she could get, and that was it for going there twice for that one particular day for a Christmas dinner. So I just want, and apparently it is still happening up until today. So I don't know who is there in charge of this turtle farm and this meat, if they're listening, if they could do a little bit better than they're doing in regards to making sure that the people of this island can get some turtle meat when they get the urge that they want a piece of turtle meat to cook. You understand, Mr. Connor?
Mm-hmm,
it's just like going to the grocery store to buy a piece of beef. You know, if you go standing orders, you make your standing orders for that particular day, And then whatever the other days are left, you make that available for all the locals who want to come there and purchase a 20 pound or a 10 pound or whatever pounds that is being sold in, you know. And the thing with it, when the young lady went a while ago to get a turtle, it was another nationality was there in line. They got the turtle meat, and the Cayman didn't get a turtle meat. So they're all really keyed off right now to know that they can't even get their own turtle meat to eat in their own country.
Mm-hmm.
But a foreigner can come here and get their turtle meat to eat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I just want you to, you know, if you could get some people from Turtle Farm, or Turtle Farm is listening, or somebody's listening, that they can do better for the people of these islands when it comes to the turtle meat.
At one time, wasn't there? You could. They actually. You could purchase it at the Frank Sound Junction. They would have a vehicle there that you could go, so that they extended it to the other districts. And then I believe that the people in the sister islands, they have a challenge in terms of getting turtle meat as well. You know me. I sometimes I mince words. Sometimes I don't mince words. I'm not going to mince words today. When I last hosted a talk with the people at the Turtle Center, of course it was to talk about something different, right? But I sense that hesitancy to talk about turtle meat. Whether or not it was because those persons in the studio at that point in time were not the persons who were responsible for that and didn't really want to take on the topic, or whether or not the Turtle Center is now trying to shift their image, re-image themselves, or call it re-image or reimagine themselves, so that the negative effect of turtle, the slaughter of turtle, doesn't factor into their image. But there seems, they're rebranding or whatever, but they seem to be hesitant about talking about that. Now, I know Mr. Jerris Miller has, spoken. I've listened to discussions on Radio Cayman on a talk show when people have called in about it, and he has responded in relation to some of the concerns that people have. So there are persons at the Turtle Farm who are prepared to talk about it. But the last interview that I had, there was that reluctance that nobody wanted to touch the whole topic of turtle meat. And that is a part of our culture. We should not be apologizing for the fact that we eat turtle meat.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Connor.
Yeah,
Mr. Connor, they did do up at the junction there at north side in Eastern entrance there at some point in time, and apparently it has been stopped. You understand? So like I told you in December when I was talking to you, you imagine people come from all the way eastern and north side to go to West Bay to look for turtle meat. When they get there, there's no turtle meat to get. And this thing about rebranding this Turtle Farm, that has been into so many hands for the last God knows how many years. And every time you look there, it's a new entity going on inside there. And they don't want to talk about turtle meat that is part of our island, our eating, our history, and where we coming from with turtle meat. And they want to rebrand. Listen to me, they got the wrong people inside that building. They need to come out and tell the people of the island if they're going to be able to get turtle meat, or if they're not going to be able to get it, so they can just forget about going there to spend so many hours to get a piece of little turtle meat that has so much meaning for this Cayman Island. All right, darling. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, caller, for that as well. Any other callers on hold at this point in time? No callers on hold. Okay. Yeah, our phone lines, they're working good today and everything. Understand that yesterday, after we had some difficulties and just about 10 minutes before the show was over, the phone lines lit up. Everyone was calling in. So if you want to call in today, call in early. We still have a little bit under an hour to go. Our toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. Also 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp number 925-3261. Today, folks, is the 19th of June, known in the United in the United States as Juneteenth, and we don't necessarily celebrate it here, but there's several persons who recognize it as well. So Juneteenth, it is now a holiday that is observed annually in the United States on the 19th of June. It commemorates the end of slavery in the United States. A combination of the word June and 19th, the holiday, also called Freedom Day, has been celebrated since 1866 and is considered to be one of the oldest continuing African American holidays. On the 17th of June 2021, President Joe Biden signed the legislation to make Juneteenth a federal holiday as well. So I'll give you a little bit of the history of Juneteenth. In 1863, during the American Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, which declared more than 3 million enslaved people living in the Confederate States to be free. Chattel slavery remained illegal in border states loyal to the Union, such as Delaware, Maryland, Kentucky, Missouri, and West Virginia, and was not officially abolished in the United States until the passage of the 13th Amendment. More than 2 years passed, however, before enslaved African Americans living in Texas, some 250,000 of them, were freed. It was not until Union soldiers arrived in Galveston, Texas on the 19th of June, 1865, and were able to enforce the edict that the state's residents finally experienced freedom. For some enslavers and the enslaved alike, it was through Major General Gordon Granger's General Order Number 3 that they first learned that slavery had been abolished in the Confederate States. The order read in part, "The people of Texas are informed that in accordance with the proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves were free." So let's read that part again here. It wasn't until the General Gordon Granger's General Orders Number 3 that they first learned that slavery had been abolished in the Confederate States. Well, those of you who here in the Cayman Islands are familiar with the story of Long Celia, something similar. She received lashes. Why did she receive, was convicted and received lashes? Because it was rumored that she was somewhere on the waterfront. She had always been going out there whenever the ships came in, and she heard word of the fact that the slaves would be freed, and she passed that information on. And as a result of that, she received all of those lashes. So, folks, let's look at the story of Long Celia, because it is told, but we don't have the full story because no one knows exactly what happened to Long Celia after slavery. I do know that Mr. Micah Hurlston has some information in relation to it as well. I'm just making the comparisons here. We'd be more than happy to hear from others as well in that regard. We do have a caller, but we're going to take our commercial break before we take the caller. Please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
The new KFC nuggets have arrived. That unlike the no-gets. Ours are handmade using 100% white meat, unlike the no-gets. At KFC, we hand-bread every day to achieve the perfect flavor. After you try our delicious and crispy nuggets in the original recipe, you'll never settle for less. KFC, the real nuggets. It's finger-licking good.
Did you know? Many of our seamen were forced to confront racism, especially in America, both on ship and in port. One Caymanian captain reported that he was able to sit with his white counterparts in cafes in the American South, but when he darkened up in the summer, he was made to sit separately. Another seaman reported asking for directions and getting a gun pointed in his face. Some seamen who earned promotions that enabled them to eat in the officers' dining hall were shunned by white officers who refused to eat in the same room as them.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. We have a caller, I think it's on WhatsApp. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good afternoon again, Mr. Orrett Connor.
Good afternoon again, sir.
Okay. We're concerned that report that lady made for the reasons why our young people are going to Northward Prison. It sounds like they're putting the blame on everybody else besides the government. Right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right now, we're supposed to have a trade school. The amount of concessions that have been given away in every district that our young boys can ride their bicycles, go to trade school, come home for lunch, go back to trade school. Government could be paying them even $150 a week, get their certificates, that these young boys can look forward to having something to do during the day. That's the first thing.
Okay.
And then when it comes to work permits, these hotels, such as bus boys and other things that these young people are able to do in these hotels.
Bellhops.
Before the hotels are even finished, they already have work permits out for people coming from foreign countries. The government not talking about that. And then, when it comes to Northward Prison, from 1981, that prison been built, and a prison inspector say it's a disgrace in 2007 from England that Cayman Islands has a prison like that with the finances that the Cayman Islands have. I mentioned it before, if a fire was to break out in Northwood Prison, a security guard has to open every cell with a key. And from 2007, this man made this report, and it's 2025 now, and it's still the same in Northwood Prison. And Northwood Prison is supposed to be a place of rehabilitation, making people's lives better, that when they come out, they don't go back Northwood again. When they come out, they don't have any work because foreigners got all the work. And government not even providing a safe place of rehabilitation for them. Because if a fire break out in Northwood Prison, God forbid in Jesus Christ's name, the prisoners and the guards could be burnt to death. If an earthquake was to happen, all the steel rods and cement in those buildings are rotten. There's a possibility the buildings could fall down on people. The government not doing nothing about that. But they're supposed to be really rehabilitating people, and they don't even care about people's lives. By building new buildings, that if these things were to occur, people wouldn't lose their lives. Government don't even care about that. Why did that woman make all these kind of things in her report?
Well,
thank you very much.
Okay, I'm glad that the caller said that, because actually I was going to share that report, and I would really urge everyone. It is online. You can go online and you can find it. And I would urge everyone to look at that. 2006, that's 19 years ago. Like I said, it would be interesting to see if she's available and to get her take on her report and her view in terms of where we are at now in the Cayman Islands. So in her, the table of contents, of her report, and this report was submitted to the Attorney General of the Cayman Islands, the Honorable Samuel Bulgian, June of 2006. Table of contents, acknowledgements, terms of reference, author's biography, introduction, then Chapter 1, community and organizational involvement, and discussing those findings, and then she makes recommendations after that. Chapter 2, religious participation, discussion of the findings and then recommendations. Education and school experience, discussion of the findings, low educational achievement, learning deficiencies, delinquency in school, implications of the findings, and then recommendations. Criminal profiles as an overview, discussion of the findings, indicators of recidivism, incarceration at an early age, juvenile experiences in the criminal justice system, inmates' perspective on prison rehabilitation, problems associated with the management of released prisoners, reasons cited for committing crime, illicit drug use, recommendations. So she not only identified the issues and looked into them, but made recommendations after. Some alternative sentences, diverting juveniles and young offenders, intensive supervision programs, youth training and rehabilitation center residential program, rehabilitation of prisoners, post-release program for ex-prisoners, addressing the problems of illicit drug use as well. Then Chapter 5, family background, discussion of findings, poor parenting skills, parental separation and absence, parental rejection, domestic conflict and violence, child abuse, alcohol abuse in the family, drug abuse in the family, criminality amongst family members, conclusions, and again, folks, recommendations, and then her conclusion as well. So this is a document that we here in the Cayman Islands, for whatever reason, choose not to accept. Maybe it was because it was coming from one of our Caribbean persons. Maybe if it was coming from the continent, either the North American continent or continental Europe, maybe it would have been accepted much more readily and adopted. But then again, we asked her to do the study, and she produced a report. Let's look at her terms of reference. Let me find that. Folks, just have a little patience with me. Some of you may say, oh, you want us to have patience with you, but you don't have patience with us. Well, I try to. So here are the terms of reference for Miss Yolanda Ford, right? The Cayman Islands government is committed in its efforts to maintain a stable and safe environment in which people can live, work, and enjoy themselves. The Office of the Attorney General is therefore interested in devising and implementing meaningful crime prevention strategies. In this regard, there must be some conceptual distinction between situational crime prevention and dispositional crime prevention. The former, which is situational crime, refers to what measures need to be adopted to control the physical opportunities that facilitate criminal activity. On the other hand, dispositional crime prevention focuses on the person committing the act and seeks to identify through an examination of the offender's personal experiences or the factors which seem to have predisposed him to criminal behavior. The proposed study is concerned with the latter. And what is the latter again? The dispositional crime prevention, which focuses on the person committing the act and seeks to identify through an examination of the offender's personal experiences the factors which seem to have predisposed him to criminal behavior. So looking at the individual as opposed to looking at the environment, that was her focus at that point in time. The proposed study is concerned with the latter. The process of determining appropriate interventions, however, requires a sound understanding of the nature and dimensions of causation. To this extent, a consultant criminologist with the requisite experience has been commissioned to conduct an empirical study on crime and violence and is being guided by the following terms of reference. 1. Identify the factors which seem to predispose individuals to criminality. 2. Use an appropriate actionology framework and research methodologies to collect and analyze relevant data. 3. Construct a profile of the average incarcerated adult offender in Grand Cayman. 4. Advise on any strategies and policies that would constitute an effective response to the criminogenic factors cited. 5. Document the research findings, analysis, and policy recommendations in the form of a report to the Attorney General of the Cayman Islands. I still have 2 minutes, so I can't go to the headline news now. I'll start this and give you some information about the author's biography. Yolanda Ford is a consultant criminologist who specializes in policy initiatives which involve issues relating to judicial and correctional reform, transnational organized crime, and crime reduction strategies. Most of her projects are executed either in the United States or the Caribbean region. Ms. Ford is currently, and this is in 2006, folks, currently on assignment in the Cayman Islands and has responsibility for conducting an empirical study on the causes of rising crime and for the advising the government of the Cayman Islands on the strategies that need to be adopted, both in terms of primary crime prevention and also the management of offenders. Prior to this assignment, Ms. Ford was engaged as a consultant with the CARICOM Secretariat. During this period, she conducted policy studies which examined critical issues related to narco trafficking and drug demand, as well as the impact of criminal deportees on the social and security services of Caribbean countries. Ms. Ford, who had at that time in 2006 had 15 years professional experience in her criminological practice, has also been a consultant with the Inter-American Development Bank on their multi-million-dollar administration of justice program for the Caribbean region, prior to which she was director of the National Task Force on Crime Prevention in Barbados. When available, Ms. Ford also lectures part-time in the Law, Governance, and Caribbean Society course at the University of the West Indies. Ms. Ford, who holds a University of the West Indies bachelor's degree in sociology and law, received her specialized training in England and the United States. In 1991, she completed her master's in criminal justice policy at the London School of Economics and Political Science. Prestigious school, folks. And was the inaugural recipient of the Errol Barrow Memorial Award, UK. In 1993, she continued her postgraduate training in the PhD program at the John Jay College of Criminal Justice, that's right there in New York City, in New York, where she was also very active in the work of both academic and community-based organizations, which articulated the need of underserved groups in the society. Folks, top of the hour. Our 2 o'clock news. When we return, I will finish reading this, sharing this with you. Hope you are taking it in, and I will also welcome you to find the report, read it for yourself as well. Please stay tuned.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Jevi Ebanks. A ceremonial parade and awards presentation will be held on Monday, the 23rd of June, outside Government House to celebrate the official birthday of His Majesty King Charles III. Governor Jane Owen will present honors to community members in recognition of their service. In regional news, Jamaica Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett has announced the start of training for Jamaica's first cohort of executive sous chefs at the new Gastronomy Academy. The initiative supports government's push to enhance human capital and grow culinary tourism as a core part of the island's visitor experience. Grenada Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell has confirmed there has been no noticeable increase in the number of Grenadians deported from the United States since President Donald Trump returned to office in January. Authorities continue to monitor developments while data shows most deportees in recent years came from the United Kingdom. That's your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. We have less than a half an hour to go in the show. One of our listeners sent several messages, so I'm going to focus on some of those now. It says, good afternoon. Jan is speaking 100% facts. Overall, about the Turtle Center, it has become so difficult for some persons to get some turtle stew, etc. Yes, they can do better. Things have changed so much, unfortunately. Yes, it was so helpful when they drove out to sell on the roadside. Thank you. Thanks to Miss Jan again. Yes, Miss Jan. Wrong people in there indeed. And person says, you are appreciated and respected for your information. John Wesley Ebanks, seaman of West Bay. He was the eldest son of Mr. John Erskine, fisherman and seaman, and Mrs. Julia Gwendolyn's eldest son, my brother. He passed away on the 16th of June, 2025. Please keep us all in your prayers, and we certainly will do that. And they point out that Mr. Mickelhurlston is their best friend as well. And I'm not sure if he's listening today, but if he is, we could hear the story about Long Celia as well, because his family member actually owned Long Celia at the time. Okay, one of our listeners wanted to know. Oh, okay, this was a good question. Yeah. Person wanted to know whether or not the UCCI were offering or were looking to the return of their legal secretaries course as well. That's a good question. Try to see what I can find out on that. I know one thing for sure. That legal secretaries in the Cayman Islands, they are well paid, and there are many persons in the Cayman Islands on work permits in those positions as legal secretaries as well. So if the government in any way is considering certain categories of employment that should be for Caymanians only, I'm sure that the law firms will, kick up a stink about that, but we may want to put some sort of limitation on it to give Caymanians an opportunity to catch up and to be able to qualify in those fields. I am aware that there are some law firms that have training programs within their organizations, and they train people up, bring them up through the ranks, and that is commendable of them. But there are others who are not such good corporate citizens and don't do the same as well. So some limitation, if not an outright Caymanians only, some limitation on that could be helpful as well. Hey, the days when we had Sylvia Gill School here in the Cayman Islands, secretarial school, you know how many people went to Sylvia Gill, got their qualifications and went into the corporate world here in the Cayman Islands as well. So it's unfortunate that we didn't get a chance to ask Professor Livingston Smith that question, but we'll see. I'll keep it in mind in the event that it comes up, or I have the opportunity to speak to someone and let you know about that as well. We do have a caller. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Yes, Mr. Connor.
Yes, ma'am.
They say the Cayman was called Paradise, and then it went to Caymankind. Now we have a new name. The government have a soft spot for the Caymanians to make sure that they get into the system of a job in the Cayman Islands. Can you imagine the audacity of someone saying that at the opening meeting there when they was talking about the Pansiana place?
Okay. Now, the only thing I just, before you go, and follow Ms. Jan, I just want to say that no reason to doubt the person who sent that, but it hasn't been verified because I think it was said to the individual and not necessarily to a group of people. I just want to point that out.
Yeah. Well, I'm not too familiar with everything, and it's I not going to make it be my pet peeve every time that I call you, but it's just that what.
No, you got to rub it in. Sometimes you got to rub it in. Yeah. Rub it in. I don't mind that.
It's just that that day that the email was read, I was listening to the radio, and the person that called me, I think that kind of took as like an insult to say, in other words, what is so wrong with Cayman of getting the job. So, but listening to you and got the email and trying to read it and understand it, and they never had anyone there taking any minutes, but there was two local people that was witness to everything that was being said, and the majority of people who came to the, let's call it a meeting or a conference or whatever it had in regards to this Canciana situation. It wasn't no more than 2 Caymanians there, and it was a lot of foreigners there looking for the job. So I would say the one that had the highest seat there made the remark to the people that government got a soft spot for the Caymanians to get a job. See, I don't want to say this with no disrespect and no regrets to say it. Whoever that individual is, they need to put them in the messenger seat, and after the messenger seat, out of the front door, because right now, we got departments here on this island. If they can't get their own nationality into area business that is running in government or private sector or whoever it may be, they are not happy. We got people here. I'm not going to judge nobody where they're coming from, but people come here and they don't realize that they come here and find that honey and milk, and that honey and milk is just as much good for us as it is for them, and it should be shared equally. Not because you have 10 family members in your country and you want to bring those whole 10 to the Cayman Islands. And believe me, sometimes when they bring the whole 10 or more, they all end up getting jobs. You know what I mean? They all end up getting jobs, and it's not right. Mr. Connor, I want to say something again, and I'll let you go. Yesterday, I called Mr. Glidden and asked and said to him, immigration and planning should collaborate together, because we don't know who they're billing for, Mr. Connor, because in the majority of these places, very few Caymanians going to be able to buy any of what they're building on this island. And we need to know where the people is coming from to put into these places, and then is it fair to the Caymanians, where the investors is coming here billing left, right, and center, and the Caymanians are being left out, don't care in what capacity you put it in, and then they goes to immigration, and their work permit is turned down for whoever they want it for, then they want to get bad and say this is not the end of this. You'll be hearing from the higher ones. No, these higher ones that we got here in this island, they need to sit back and let immigration do their job. If they're not granted to have a work permit, they are not granted. Stop using your power, because you is one of the 19 members. You can just pick up the phone and call the immigration and say, hey, you give that permit to Mr. Tom Jones, and I will deal with that otherwise. No, that needs to stop, because it will never get any better if we keep doing the things that we are doing. That's why I'm saying that planning and immigration should be collaborating together to see how they can go about doing something about this island with the building and the population of work permits and PRs and everything else. But Mr. Glidden, me and him couldn't get it, come to no head. I can't explain it no better than this. And somebody called me, told me, hey, you should have waited till OCB on the show today and talk to him, see if he can shine some light on it. I am not saying don't build, and I'm not saying no work permit, but you have to have some people in them two departments communicating to see where this island is going with the population and the building of the buildings and who is going to benefit. And I don't see anything wrong with that, OC.
And that's what we're told that that's what the government intends to do. Not deal with things in silos. So immigration is doing one thing, planning is doing the other. It all has to be coordinated. All has to be taking a holistic approach to it.
Exactly. And we could probably see better than what we're seeing right now. And I'm going to give you a little joke and let you go.
Okay.
I was off the road for the whole weekend. And when I came back on the road Monday morning to go to work, it was like I was driving in Miami because the people was going from lane to lane.
Oh, yes,
and no indicators and just a fraction of an inch from your front end.
Yep.
And, I got to take that back. I got one more. Mr. Connor's school year is coming to an end. The 4th of July, okay? And I am asking early that whoever's in charge of protecting us on the road with our children, they got about 8 weeks to get something in the making to protect us on the roads, picking up and dropping off our children. Mr. Connor, I do not put anything cross Palmdale. Something's going to happen there. You hear me? And the rest of the road, but Palmdale and Tropical Gardens.
Yeah, that's a dangerous area.
It is dangerous, and I am asking whoever's in charge, you got 8 weeks to get something in the making to protect us and our children on the road for the new year coming in August. I'll leave that with you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Folks, we're going to take our last commercial break. We still have a caller on hold. We will take that caller as soon as we return. Please stay tuned. Talk Today will be back shortly.
Hungry? Need Subway any time of the day?
Yeah.
We've got you covered. Subway at Anderson Square, Centennial Towers, and Countryside Shopping Village is open 24/7, serving up fresh, delicious subs anytime you need them. And for your weekend cravings, West Shore Center is also open 24 hours on Friday nights and until 1 a.m. on Saturdays, because it's never too late for a great meal. Skip the line and order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app, or get your favorites delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Fresh, fast, and always here when you need us. Subway. Eat fresh.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drportercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. We are on the last leg of the show this afternoon. We do have a caller. Before we go to the call, this person says that Sunday morning that they went to the airport in the Brac. Would you believe me? I was there from 6 a.m. until 3 p.m. That's something like, 9 hours? They never even offered us a bottle of water or a sandwich. This is a shame, and not only a shame, but a big disgrace as well. And they didn't allow you to go back out to possibly get something to eat as well if they knew that the delay was going to be that long. Wow, folks. Sorry to hear that. Let's grab our caller. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Mr. O.C.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Oh, not bad. Mr. O.C., you know, working for some people is no fun at all. Because the treatment that some receive working for certain people is like inhumane treatment. And to be honest, I don't know why some people still are. I'll put it this way. Mr. O.C., I wouldn't want to go on another construction site. I don't even want to look at it. In the days when I used to work, do my little construction work, I wouldn't want to even look at one of them sites again. Mr. O.C., it's no fun working for certain people. It's like slave driving. So it ain't nothing to get excited about to work over there.
Mm-hmm.
Only certain people want to, and some really don't even want to work there. I don't even think certain foreigners want to work on the construction site, but because some people might be able to do any better right now. But that is no fun at all. The treatment what you get from certain people, you would be lucky to find some good employers to treat you right.
Mm-hmm.
I found some good employers when in my days working for certain people.
Mm-hmm.
But I found some terrible people, Mr. O.C. It's no fun. That's why I try to encourage my people. I try to encourage Caymanians to try to do a little business. Because some of them cannot handle working for certain people, Mr. O.C. Some of them is like slave drivers. And then some of them walk a bad word at you, and so something got to be done. I hope that the government do something about that when it concerns employment, that they can set down some kind of policies or something where they ensure that employers treat the employees right on the job, treat them right.
I think there's some legislation in place in terms of workplace conditions and stuff like that. There is some, whether or not people know about it and whether or not they exercise the right that they have. If they feel that they have that their rights have been breached in any way.
And then if they speak, then they lose their job. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible, Mr. O.C. That's terrible because, you got people, they got their needs, they got their little loan from the bank, and they got their bills. I wouldn't want to work for certain people ever again in my life. I got no intention, Mr. O.C., working for certain people never again in my life. No, sir.
Okay, got you.
And I try to encourage, I try to encourage people, see if you can do a little business and try to be, out of the hands of certain kinds of employees.
Work for yourself. Be your own boss.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, because the kind of treatment where you get from certain people, you'd be lucky to find some good employers to treat you right. I found some good ones, but you got some terrible people out there, Miss O.C., and I just encourage my people to try to, start a little business or something here and there or something,
I hear you. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Okay, folks, one of our listeners said that, I think they were commenting on, yes, person says that they appreciate Miss Jan. She misses nothing. Amen. Hashtag Cayman proud. Keep rubbing it in, Miss Jan. She really cares for us. Caymanians, God bless her. And other question they had was which construction site as well. Do we have other one? Here's this person wrote and said, good afternoon. Earlier, you're referring to the important report by Miss Yolanda Ford on the causes of crime in the Cayman Islands, etc. Yesterday, I heard on Radio Cayman's news, that the John Gray High School had a major plumbing blockage and waste water flooded some of the rooms because a student flushed a bottle down a toilet. Wow, incredible. I wonder what causes that type of misbehavior. Well, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychologist, not a sociologist as well. But when you see things like that occurring, those are usually warning signs. Those are usually signs. And if they can be addressed early, then maybe, we can see some correction occurring as well. We have a caller. It's likely to be our last caller for the afternoon. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. O.C.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon.
Yeah, you called me a little bit late. I invoked your name much earlier.
A few before, but I just say quickly, I know you're about to close out. Yes, I was devastated to learn of the condition of my dear friend John, and goes us so very quickly, and had no idea that he was, but I felt something that he was sick and hiding it. So that was his way in life, But anyhow, I'm happy for his sake that he didn't have to suffer and, lie down in Pampers and so forth for weeks and months and years, as I've seen. And I'm happy for that. Sad, very sad to see him go. His dad, I remember very well when he raised the flag whenever he caught few queenfish, and former chief engineer, I was out at the Turtle Farm and helped to put in them pipes, pumps, and the big diesel engines. It was 1970, 71. And we could look out from the veranda. We were at the back of the building there, by the seaside. We were on the bluff. We could look out with the Light or the transit and see, and then we could get there first. So by where the old Blue Horizon was, that's where Mr. Wetton, his dad lived, Erskine. All he knew was Erskine. And so we could get there first, get the queenfish before they were sold out. So forth. I remember all that, and chief. But
those are the days. Those were the days when you could buy this.
Wonderful, wonderful days.
You could buy them by queenfish by the scorch. You got a scorch.
There were hard days. Some hard work went into building that place. Telling you, only a very, very few of us left. from the whole original crew there in those years I'm talking about. The issue with Long Celia, the old man, William Eden, he had only 2 sons, but 8 daughters. 1 son, 3 daughters. Dorothy Bodden, his first wife, and his second wife, Bessie Clark, he had 1 son and 5 daughters. The son with the second wife was Thomas Knowles Eden, and he had 2 sons, Thomas Knowles Jr. and William Eden. That's why there are 2 William Edens on that famous plaque with showing you the first of the 2-part government, with the magistrates as the appointed part meeting in the upper house or floor room, and then the dining room. The elected would meet. The elected was one of his sons. That would be a grandson from the old man.
Okay.
He was also a William Eden. That's why there are 2 William Edens there. He was 31 at the time, December 10, 1831, the first election. And then it became the 2-part bicameral Westminster-style system with the elected and the appointed. And then one of the appointed magistrates was the old man's son from his first marriage, William Eden the younger. They call him William Eden the younger. But Long Celia belonged to Thomas Knowles.
Okay.
That second son from the second marriage. And there's no record of him trying to stop, we have anyhow in our family records, the history, stop her getting those lashes. Or she was ordered lashed by that famous judge. I can't remember his name. Oh God. Anyhow, was one that wrote a letter to the British governor in Jamaica, Belmore, the few weeks before the elections, and he ordered the lashings. And what happened to her after that was a horrific thing. When you think about it, it's almost imaginable. The brutality of it, the cruelty. 50 lashes in that hot sun on that woman's bare back.
Yep.
Is unthinkable. I don't like to think about it because I get very angry knowing that she belonged to a member of my family for so long. That she apparently, I had heard something about her being banished to Corn Island, Nicaragua, with some of her children, and then I heard that she had left and was living in East End, and they had moved away from here to the Bay Islands. It's very sketchy. And the other thing, quickly, I just ask, and maybe you can dig up and find out. I know you have that brilliant knack. What were the names of the first people on that election? There certainly would only be a few people who could have voted to put those 10 people in. And what were their names? And who else was put on the ballot? Or was it just those 10 and everybody put up their hand and said yes, 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 something like that? I often wonder about that, how that was done. Maybe you could dig up and find out something about it. And the subsequent elections after, too. It would be interesting to know.
I'll inquire as to whether or not Celebrate Cayman, Mr. Alfonso and his staff, whether or not they have any information on that. I'll be talking to him soon, so I'll inquire.
It would be very interesting to find that out because it's little or no knowledge about it, how it was run, how it was done. We know it could only be a few people who could vote and so forth at that time. And you had to own land, of course, or lease land, and you had, it would be limited to a very few. I often wondered about that, just what was the list of the names, if it is, and how it was done, to show of hands, and if only the 10 people who were there, if they were the only ones, and automatically said yes, 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 or whatever. And of course, we know the elections were held to prevent slave uprising. That would always be my view of it. Yep. Slave uprising happening here. That's my view of the whole thing, that we'd have an elected body saying, we won't allow this and so forth.
Yep.
But thank you so very much.
Thank you very much.
So very much.
As
Take
well.
care.
Thank
Bye.
you.
So dig up into that and find out something.
Will do.
Take care.
Okay.
Have a good day, sir. Bye.
Thank you. I want to thank everyone who participated this afternoon as well. Professor Livingston Smith from the University College of the Cayman Islands, all those persons who called in or sent WhatsApp messages as well. And, of course, our very capable person in the control room there, Miss Basilia. Want to thank her as well. Folks, continue to enjoy the rest of your day. Please stay safe. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Talk Today is also brought to you by Mike's Builders. Call 923-0706. Mike Builders. They make it happen.